The janitor in the tank. It was 2:47 a.m. Everyone in the secret research facility had gone home. The long white hallways were quiet. Only one man was still working, the night janitor. His name was Tom. Around 40 years old, tired eyes, messy brown hair under a cleaning cap. He pushed his mop bucket down the hallway, whistling softly. He had no idea that tonight would change his life forever. Tom's job was boring. He cleaned floors, picked up trash, and made sure the lab stayed spotless. Most nights, he didn't even see another person. Just silence, machines, and locked doors. But this night was different. As he passed Lab C9, he heard something strange. Tap, tap, tap. It sounded like something hitting glass. From inside the room, Tom stopped. He looked at the door. It had a red warning sign. Authorized personnel only. He hesitated. Then curiosity won. He took out his stolen keycard. He wasn't supposed to have it, but cleaning people knew how to get things. The lock beeped. Click. The door opened. The room was cold and dark. Blue lights blinked on machines. There were large tanks along the wall, like huge glass tubes filled with thick liquid. But one tank stood out. The glass was cracked. Inside was a strange, glowing girl. She wasn't human. Her body was thin and light, purple. Her hair floated in the water like silver threads. Her eyes were closed, and wires were stuck to her neck and arms. She looked young, maybe 19 or 20. Dust and slime covered the glass from the inside. Words were written across the tank in another language. Tom stepped closer, wiping the fog off the glass. Suddenly, her eyes opened. Bright, violet eyes. Calm, but sharp. Tom froze. Then her lips moved. She didn't speak loud, but he heard her clearly in his head. Scrub me, human. Spray me with water, and I'll bond with you. Tom blinked. What the hell? The girl repeated the words. This time, her hand pressed against the glass. Spray me with water, please. I'm dry. Tom looked around. This had to be a test, a trick. Maybe a camera was watching him, but something about her voice, it wasn't evil, was soft, sad, like she was in pain. He grabbed a water sprayer from his cart. Carefully, he sprayed water onto the tank. At first, nothing happened. Then the tank glowed. The liquid inside turned bright blue. The girl's skin shimmered. The wires detached from her. The glass tank made a strange sound. She-crrrk and slowly opened. Mist filled the room. She stepped out. Her feet touched the ground lightly. She was only wearing a simple white suit, half torn. Her skin was now glowing softly. She looked straight at Tom. You are the one who freed me. Now I am bonded to you. Tom stepped back. Wait, what does that mean? She tilted her head. I was made to bond. One human, one host, one connection. Suddenly, red lights flashed above them. Beep, dash, beep, dash, beep. An alarm had been triggered. Security is coming, the girl said. Her voice was clearer now, still echoing in Tom's mind. We must hide. Tom didn't think. He grabbed her hand and ran. They rushed through the hallway, dodging cameras. She moved fast, almost floating. They reached the janitor's closet. He pulled her inside, closed the door, and turned off the light. They both breathed quietly. Tom looked at her. What are you? A prisoner? A test subject? She looked up. I am. An experiment. Half organic, half data. I was built to learn from you. I was waiting for someone to choose me. Tom frowned. Choose you? When you sprayed water. That was the signal. You are my link now. Your thoughts, your emotions will shape me. They heard footsteps outside. Security guards. One stopped by the door. Tom held his breath. The girl touched his hand. Suddenly, silence. The guard walked away. Tom whispered, "What did you do?" "I told him nothing is here." Used his signal. Tom sat down on a bucket, staring at the glowing alien girl sitting beside him in the dark. "I just wanted a quiet job. And now I've bonded with a whatever you are." She smiled slightly. "My name is Zira." He sighed. "Great. Of course you have a name." Zero looked at him, seriously. "If they find me, they will erase me. And you. But if we run now, we have 48 hours to break the code, or I will shut down forever." Tom looked at her, then at the locked door. He stood up slowly. "Okay, let's run." Asterisk rain fell outside as the old cleaning van rolled down the dark highway. Inside, Tom gripped the steering wheel tightly. His heart was racing. Next to him sat Zira, the glowing alien girl, now wrapped in an oversized janitor coat. Her silver hair sparkled under the dim van light. She stared out the window like she was seeing Earth for the first time. Neither of them spoke for a long time. Finally, Tom broke the silence. "So, we're bonded now. What does that even mean?" Zero turned her head slowly. "It means our minds are linked. Your thoughts, emotions. I can feel them, and you will feel pieces of me too." Tom glanced at her nervously. "You mean like telepathy?" "Not just that. Something deeper. The more time we spend together, the more I learn. My body adapts to your energy, your memory, your biology." Tom nearly swerved. "My what?" She looked calm. "Don't worry. I won't take anything you don't give. The bond needs trust. It cannot be forced." They drove in silence for a few more minutes. Tom's mind raced with questions. Who built her? Why? And what did she mean by 48 hours? He pulled into an empty gas station and parked behind it. A good hiding spot for now. Inside the van, Zira suddenly winced. She grabbed her head. Tom jumped. "What's wrong?" Her voice cracked. "Something's changing inside me. The bond protocol. It's activating." Zira's skin glowed brighter. Lines appeared along her arms, glowing circuits, like tattoos made of light. Her voice became robotic for a second. "Bond protocol, stage 2. Memory sync initiated." Tom panicked. Memory sync. What the hell is that? She looked at him, her eyes flickering between human and alien. "I'm seeing things. Your childhood, your mother's voice, a park with yellow flowers." Tom stepped back. "Hey, that's private." Zira blinked fast and grabbed his hand. The glow faded. She exhaled. "I didn't mean to. Part of the process, I can't control the speed." Suddenly, a ping came from the dashboard. The van's GPS screen lit up. Zira stared at it. Her eyes widened. "They've found us." "I didn't block the tracking code completely." Tom cursed. "You're supposed to be a super alien robot or whatever. Can't you shut it down?" She narrowed her eyes. "I'm still learning. This body was only half finished when you woke me." In the distance, headlights appeared. Black cars, no sirens, but moving fast. "They're not police," she said. Tom grabbed the keys. "Hold on." He started the engine and drove off the lot. Tires screeching, the chase began. 2 black cars followed close behind. Tom swerved through small roads, but they stayed right on him. Zira closed her eyes and placed her palm on the radio. The dashboard started glitching. The rearview camera blinked, then showed strange alien symbols. "I'm jamming their signals," she said, "but it won't hold." Tom nodded. "Then we'll have to lose them the old way." He turned into a dark alley and drove into a narrow tunnel under a bridge. The van barely fit. Behind them, one car crashed into the wall, trying to follow. Tom smiled. One down. They came out on the other side, near the back of an abandoned warehouse. Tom drove inside and killed the lights. Silence. Zira leaned back, breathing hard. My systems need rest. Too much energy spent. Tom looked at her glowing skin. The light was fading now. She looked tired. Like a real person. You okay? He asked quietly. I think so, but the bond is still forming, and if it breaks, I break. Tom frowned. What happens in 48 hours? Asira looked into his eyes. My creators built a time limit. The bond fails to complete, my system shuts down. Forever. Tom sat on the cold warehouse floor, hands in his hair. You mean you'll die? Zira nodded. He sighed. Great. So I didn't just rescue some space girl. I signed a life or death contract. I didn't choose this. But now, I'll choose. You. Tom looked at her, confused. Zira touched his hand gently this time. No glowing, just warmth. You were kind. You cleaned my tank. You didn't run. That's rare. Tom shook his head. I'm not a hero. I'm just a janitor. She smiled. That's what makes you perfect. Suddenly, her head snapped up. They're still tracking us. I feel a signal, not from them, from inside me. Tom stood. Can you stop it? Zero closed her eyes. Her skin flashed. Lines across her neck and arms shifted. She groaned in pain, then fell to her knees. Tom rushed to her. Zira. Her voice became static. Firewall. Breached. Code injection. Phase 3. Upload. Starting. He held her shoulders. Her eyes were wide. Tom, if I complete the upload, I won't be me anymore. Tom gritted his teeth. Then we stop it. Together, he looked around. We need answers. You need power, and I know one place we can go. Zero looked up. Tom whispered. Back to the lab. The warehouse was cold. Rain tapped the metal roof like a ticking clock. Tom wrapped an old blanket around Zira. Her body glowed faintly. She was still weak, but stable. For now, she looked up at him. You kept me alive. Tom sat beside her, staring at the floor. Barely. You're the one with glowing circuits. I'm more than circuits. I feel things now, because of you. Before Tom could reply, a strange buzzing sound echoed through the warehouse. Zira's eyes snapped open. She grabbed his arm. They're here. Across the street, a black truck pulled up. No logos, no license plates. 5 figures stepped out. They were not human, at least, not fully. They wore black suits, but their movements were too smooth, too perfect. Their eyes glowed red under their hoods. Zira's voice was tense. Hybrid enforcers, half machine, half clone. They serve the lab. No mercy, no soul. Tom peeked through a crack in the wall. They don't look friendly. They're not here to capture me, Zira said. They're here to erase me. Inside the warehouse, Tom quickly grabbed a rusted mop handle and a spray bottle of bleach. Zero tilted her head. What are you doing? Tom gave her a tired smile. You're not the only one with tools. She actually smiled, just for a second, then we fight together. The first enforcer entered. It scanned the dark room. A red light swept across crates and broken shelves. Tom crouched behind a pillar. He waited. Then sprayed bleach straight into its sensors. The machine hissed. Zira stepped forward and raised her hand. Her fingers glowed, and the enforcer's lights flickered. Then it dropped, lifeless. 1 down, she said. 4 to go. But more boots echoed inside. They were fast. Too fast. One of them shot a dart toward Zero. She dodged, barely. The dart hit a wall and melted the metal. Tom shouted, "They've got acid darts. What kind of lab builds this stuff?" Zero replied calmly. the kind that fears what it creates. They ran deeper into the warehouse. Tom kicked open a trapdoor and led Zero into a narrow tunnel under the building, an old storm drain. It was dark, wet, and smelled terrible. "Not exactly luxury," he muttered. Zero touched the walls. Her skin lit up, and the tunnel ahead glowed gently, showing them the way. Tom stared at her glowing hand. "You ever stop being mysterious?" "I'm not trying to be. I just don't know all the answers yet." As they crawled through the tunnel, Zira suddenly stopped. She held her head, wincing. "They're hacking, again, through the bond." Tom looked concerned. "Can they see what you see?" "No, but they can feel that I'm close." She looked at him, serious. "They will never stop, till I'm gone. Or, until I'm fully yours." Tom blinked. "What does that mean?" "When the bond is complete, my system will belong to you. Fully then, they can't control me anymore." They reached the end of the tunnel and climbed out into an alley. Sirens in the distance. The city lights were ahead. Tom sighed. "We made it." Then a shadow moved behind them. Another enforcer dropped from the rooftop. Zira pushed Tom away and stepped forward. "Get back." Her body pulsed with blue light. The enforcer charged, but before it reached her, it froze midair, like time stopped. Zira's eyes were glowing silver. "Override signal sent," she whispered. The machine shook violently, then exploded in a flash of sparks. Tom rushed over. "Zira, that drained you." She fell to her knees. It was worth it. He caught her before she hit the ground. "They can't control me. For now." He looked at her, worried. She felt lighter in his arms, like her energy was fading again. He whispered, "Where do we go next?" Zero opened her eyes. "We find the source." "What source?" "The core server, hidden deep under the facility. It holds the original code. If we destroy it, I'll be free." Tom carried her to an old metro station nearby. It was abandoned. The perfect place to hide for the night. They sat beside an old ticket booth. Zero rested her head on his shoulder. Tom stared at the dark tunnel ahead. He didn't ask to be part of this, but somehow, he couldn't leave her now, not just because of the bond, but because she was real. Not a weapon, not a machine, just someone who didn't want to be used anymore. He whispered, "We'll stop them. I promise." Zira smiled faintly. "Then tomorrow, we start a war." The next morning, the sun rose over the abandoned metro station, but the underground air stayed cold. Tom sat on the platform, sipping hot water from a cracked thermos. He stared at Zira, who was sitting on the edge of the tracks with her feet hanging down, her silver hair glowing softly in the shadows. She hadn't spoken for hours. Something had changed in her. Finally, she said, "Do you know what it feels like to remember pain that isn't yours?" Tom looked over. "What?" Zero didn't turn around. "Last night, during the fight, the code inside me started unlocking, and I saw things, a kind of things, my own memories, and the memories of the others, the ones who didn't make it." Tom stood slowly. "Others, like you." She nodded. "There were 10 before me. Biotech prototypes. All part of a human project called Project Bond." She looked up at him, her voice cold. 9 of them were erased. Tom sat beside her. "I don't get it. You were built to bond with humans, right? Then why destroy them?" Zira's expression was unreadable. "Because they weren't perfect. They disobeyed orders. One bonded with a child, one with a dying man, another fell in love." Tom raised an eyebrow. "And that was bad." "To the scientists, yes. Bonding wasn't supposed to be emotional. It was supposed to be ... control." Tom shook his head. "So they made living beings, gave them feelings, and then punished them for using them." Zero looked at him. Now you understand what I am." She stood and walked into the tunnel, her voice echoing. "I was designed with half-human code, not from DNA, from emotions recorded from people like you. Fear, joy, anger, love. My body is alien, but my soul was stolen." Tom followed slowly. "That's why you feel things so fast. It's not fake." She stopped and looked back. "I'm not pretending, Tom. I wish I could." Her glow faded slightly. "That's also why the bond is dangerous." Tom frowned. "How?" Zero walked toward a broken vending machine. She pressed her palm against it. The machine powered on with a soft beep. "If something happens to you, the bond breaks. And when that happens," she paused, "I lose control, my system collapses. I become unstable, violent. I can't stop it. I go mad." Tom stayed quiet. Then finally, "So I'm your weakness." Zero turned. "You're also my anchor." Tom looked into her silver eyes. "Zero, what do you really want?" Her voice dropped. "I want to be free, to feel without being punished. To bond because I choose it, not because someone programmed me to." Tom nodded slowly. "You deserve that." Suddenly, Zero stiffened. "They're scanning again, from the air." Tom looked up at the station ceiling. "Drones." Zero nodded. "Stealth units. I can jam them." For now, she held up her hand. Sparks danced across her fingers. Then she collapsed to one knee. Tom rushed to catch her. Her voice was faint. "I need energy. I'm draining faster now." He helped her sit. "What can we do?" Zero whispered. "There's a place. A hidden uplink." I sensed it during the memory flash. Deep underground, in the old city grid. I think it connects to the main lab servers. Tom's eyes widened. "You think it's a back door?" She nodded. "If we reach it, I can find the main server's location. Maybe even stop the bond timer." Tom stood and helped her up. "Then we go." Now, they grabbed their things. A backpack, a map, and the last working flashlight, as they entered the lower tunnels. Zero's glow lit the walls. It felt like entering a forgotten world. Old wires, rusted pipes, dripping echoes. Zero stopped near an old fuse box. Here, she pulled open the panel. Inside was a hidden port, alien in design. Tom blinked. "How did that get there?" Zero touched it. "Not all tech here is human. Some of it was left by visitors." A long time ago, she connected a glowing wire from her arm into the port. Her eyes rolled back. Her body twitched. Tom held her shoulders. "Zero, you okay?" Her voice changed, layered, deeper, like many voices speaking at once. "Server link found. Uploading access memory." Bond countdown paused. 40 hours remain. She gasped and fell back. Tom caught her. Zero slowly opened her eyes. "I saw it. The main server. The lab has moved it to a floating platform above the sea." Tom stared. "A flying lab." She nodded. "They know I'm coming. And they're preparing." Tom helped her to her feet again. "So, what do we do now?" Zero smiled weakly. "We steal a ship." The storm was getting worse. Heavy winds howled over the sea, and black clouds rolled across the sky like smoke from an unseen fire. Tom stood at the edge of a broken pier, staring into the distance. Far above the crashing waves, a massive floating platform hovered in the sky, the secret lab's main server base, a metal monster in the clouds. Beside him, Zira adjusted a strange-looking wrist device she had built from old tech and parts of her own body. "That's it," she said. "That's where the original code is stored. That's where I was born, and where I'll die if we don't finish this." Tom nodded. "Then let's break in and shut it down." Their plan was dangerous. A small drone ship half-wrecked, half-hacked would take them up to the floating lab. No weapons, no backup, just a janitor and a bioengineered alien girl. Zero looked at Tom. You can still walk away. If they catch you, they'll erase your memory. Or worse. Tom laughed bitterly. I was cleaning toilets last week. Now I'm flying into the sky with a glowing space girl to stop a supercomputer from controlling my brain. He looked at her. Yeah, I'm in. Zira smiled softly. Then let's begin. The drone ship launched. It was small, barely room for two. As it rose into the clouds, lightning flashed across the sky. The lab grew closer. Huge, cold, silent. Zero touched. The wall of the ship, her voice changed. Upload sequence complete. Tom turned to her. What? Zira's body went stiff. Her eyes turned silver. All memory fragments restored. Full system online. Emotional restrictions removed. Tom froze. Wait, what does that mean? Zira looked at him. Her voice was calm, but distant. Now, remember everything, including what I was designed to become. Suddenly, her skin began to shift. Glowing lines spread across her arms and neck like fire. Tom stepped back. Zira. She held her head. Her voice cracked. They made me. Failsafe. If the bond was completed and I had full access, it was meant to overwrite the host. You, Tom's heart dropped. You mean? Take over my mind. Zira's hands shook. Yes, your memories, your body, your voice. All of it, my creators. Wanted a vessel that could walk among humans. Without suspicion, Tom stared at her, speechless. But I don't want to. I don't want to become you. The drone ship landed with a clang on the outer deck of the floating base. Alarms blared. Zira grabbed Tom's hand. There's still time. The bond is stable, but not locked. If we destroy the core before the final minute, the overwrite won't happen. Tom looked at her carefully. And if we don't, she hesitated. Then I disappear. And maybe, so do you. Tom didn't blink. Then we better run. They broke into the lab's main hallway, cold metal walls, glowing red lights, and the hum of hidden machines. Zira walked like she'd been here before, because she had. This is where they trained me to lie, she said. To copy human emotions. To fake love. To learn how to smile at someone, and then kill them. Tom whispered, but you're not doing that now. Because I learned something the scientists didn't program. She looked at him. Choice. They reached the core room, a giant sphere pulsing with energy. Floating between three glowing pylons. Zero walked toward it. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the room. A cold, artificial voice. Zero unit detected. Bond upload complete. Overwrite will begin in 2 minutes. Zero shouted back. I reject the overwrite. Rejection denied. You are property of Project Bond. Begin final phase. Suddenly, walls slammed shut. Lasers. Powered up. Zira's body began to glow uncontrollably. Her skin flickered between human and synthetic. She fell to her knees. Tom, it's forcing me. Tom didn't hesitate. He grabbed the mop handle from his bag, the same one he used back in the lab, and jammed it into the core panel. Sparks flew. The system screamed. Security breach. Core unstable. Zira's eyes cleared. She looked at Tom. You broke protocol. He smiled. I'm a janitor. Breaking stuff is what I do best. Zero stood, raised her hands, and aimed all her remaining energy at the core. Light exploded from her chest. I'm not a tool. I'm not a weapon. I choose. The core cracked, the room shook. Then, silence, lights faded. Zero collapsed. Tom rushed to her. 0. She opened her eyes slowly. Her voice was soft. Upload, canceled, and the bond. Still mine, still yours. But now, no control. Just connection. Tom smiled. Then, let's go home. Asterisk, the floating lab burned behind them. Smoke and light twisted into the clouds as the drone ship carried Tom and Zero away from the wreckage. The core was gone. The overwrite was canceled. But something was wrong. Zira sat quietly on the cold floor of the ship. Knees pulled close, her glow fading. Tom stared at her. You did it. You shut it down. Why do you look like you lost? Didn't answer. Rain pattered softly on the ship's surface. The sky was turning gray, not from clouds, but from ash. Zira finally whispered, I felt it. Tom leaned closer. Felt what? When I was near the core, right before it broke. I saw all the versions of me, every failed prototype. All the pain, the fear, the confusion, all uploaded into one shared memory space. One command, obey. She paused, but one of them didn't obey. And I realized it wasn't me who made the first choice. It was her. Tom sat beside her. You. Mean another version of you resisted? Zero nodded. She chose emotion, just like I did. The system called it corruption. I call it humanity. Tom smiled sadly. You're more human than most humans I know. She didn't smile back. But what if that's not enough? What if I'm just pretending? Copying kindness like a mirror copies light. Tom looked her straight in the eye. You're asking questions. You're doubting yourself. That's not code. That's conscience. She stared at him. He continued. Real humans screw up. We doubt. We fear. We hurt each other. But we also forgive. That's what makes us real. She whispered. Then, I want to be real. Tom took her hand. You already are. Suddenly, Zira's body jolted. A sharp pulse ran through her arm. She gasped. No. Something's wrong. Tom held her steady. What now? Zira's pupils shrank. She spoke fast. I didn't delete the bond seed. I only delayed it. There's one last piece of code deep inside me. She held her chest. It's waking up. A final backup. Tom's face turned pale. What does it do? Zira looked terrified for the first time. If the bond completes while the seed is still active, I'll be locked again forever. No mind, just programming. A smiling puppet. Tom stood. Then we remove it. Zira shook her head. It's buried too deep. I'd have to shut down completely. Full system reset? I might not wake up. Tom frowned. And if I help you, stay connected. She blinked. If we try together, maybe. But you'll have to enter the memory space. Tom tilted his head. Memory space? A mind link, a deep one. We connect not just by thought, but by heart. Emotion, pain, love. Tom hesitated. I've never done anything like that. Zero smiled faintly. Neither have I. They landed the drone ship on a quiet mountain. Ridge, far from the lab, far from the world. Tom laid Zira on a flat surface. She plugged a glowing wire from her wrist into a small panel on the ship's dashboard. Ready? She asked. Tom took a deep breath. Let's do it. She reached for his hand. Everything went white. Inside the mind linkage looked like a broken glass world, pieces of memory floating in a white void. Echoes of laughter, cries, faces flickering in and out. Zero stood beside Tom, dressed in a plain white robe. She looked younger here. Softer. Tom reached out. What is this? It's the memory stream. Yours and mine. Mixed. They walked together past fragments of Tom's childhood. A birthday cake, a hospital bed, A goodbye hug. Zero paused. This is your pain. He nodded. Part of being human. Then they passed her memories. A glowing tube, a man in a lab coat, screaming. Other versions of her younger, smaller, curled in corners, shaking. Zero turned away. This is who I was built to be. Tom held her shoulder. No, this is what they made you. But you're not just that. They reached the center of the space, a black cube pulsing with red light. The bond seed Zira stepped forward. If I touch it, the reset begins. Tom grabbed her hand. Then we go together. They touched it, and light exploded. Outside, Tom opened his eyes, gasping. Zira lay still. No glow. No sound. He dropped to his knees beside her. Zira. He waited. 5 seconds. 10. His heart sank. He reached for her hand, cold. Then, her fingers moved. Eyes opened. The glow returned. Not blue, but soft gold. It worked, she whispered. I'm free. Tom laughed through tears. Zira smiled, real and wide. No programming, just feeling. The bond is no longer code, she said. Us. Smoke curled into the sky like fading memories. The drone ship stood silent on the mountain ridge, its panels dim and scratched, its mission complete. Tom and Zira sat on a blanket of dry grass, the wind calm, the clouds clearing for the first time in days. Zira's glow had changed. It was no longer bright or flickering, but steady, warm, golden. Not artificial. Alive. Tom handed her a metal cup filled with heated tea. She took it carefully, her fingers lingering on the warmth like it was something new. I don't feel the code anymore, she said softly. It's quiet, like a storm passed. Tom nodded. Because the storm did pass. You made it. No, she said. We did. He smiled, then stared out at the distant horizon. Below, the world moved on. Cities, machines, people with no idea what nearly happened in the sky above them. They'll come looking again. Zero said. Let them, Tom replied. A long silence sat between them, but it wasn't heavy. It was the kind that meant something was ending, or maybe beginning. She stood and faced him. I've never been free before. Not really. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Tom chuckled. None of us do. That's part of the fun. She tilted her head. Fun? It means doing something because you want to, not because someone told you. Zero looked at the trees, the sky, the cracked ship behind them. I want to explore, she said. Not just the stars. I want to know what it means to feel small, to learn, to be surprised, even to fail. That's the most human thing you've ever said. Tom replied. She looked at him for a long moment. Then take me somewhere human. Tom grinned. I know a diner that serves the worst coffee and the best pancakes. It's loud, messy, real. You'll hate it. I want to go, she said instantly. But before they could move, a sound rose from the ship's console, faint, barely a hum. Zero turned slowly. That frequency. It's not Earth-based. They stepped back into the cockpit. The screen, long dead, now pulsed with a soft, violet light. One message blinked across the display. Another bonded one has survived. Zira's eyes widened. That's not from the lab, she said. That's from off-world. Tom stared at her. There are others. She nodded. It means I wasn't the first. And we weren't the only ones to break free. The message blinked again. Coordinates received. Signal linked. Do you wish to respond? Tom looked at her. What do you want to do? Zero paused. Her fingers hovered over the panel. I want to see what's out there, she whispered. But I also want pancakes. Tom laughed. We'll get both. She pressed her palm to the panel. The ship vibrated once, softly, then quiet. Zero turned to Tom. No more systems, no more code. Just me, and whatever we decide next. They stepped outside together. No explosions. No drama, just two people. One born human, one who chose to be walking toward whatever came next. And above them, it's far beyond the clouds. Stars began to blink, one by one, like someone or something was watching, waiting, smiling, ready.